Like I had no anything about financial literacy, to be honest. My background was in health, so coming into this industry was such an eye-opener, and I loved it. I was excited because at the time I was looking for more. And again, everything happens in life for a reason. So of course, you actually, you're looking for more information, and the universe has a way to always align the right people or the right things into your life. So in that process, I found this industry. So getting started, I didn't know anything, like I said, and I got excited, ventured out. And my first my first experience is actually understanding how money works and how money revolves in our everyday world. And so first thing I actually want to show you guys is I want to break down something that someone shared with me that actually really opened my eyes up to some information that I actually didn't know. Understanding how money revolves around our world on an everyday basis, for me, was such an eye-opener. And someone explained to me this cash flow quadrant. So the cash flow quadrant was such an eye-opener for me because I did not know anything I didn't know anything about it. Now, what this slide is actually going to break down to you is how money revolves in our world. So, we have the 4 different quadrants. This is a normal pie chart. And this book is actually, there's a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. He's a famous author. You can find this on, eBay or even Amazon or so many other, bookstores and that kind of thing. It's such an eye-opening book. So got myself involved in this, and reading this book, taught me a lot, and actually teaches you how money is distributed in our world. So you can clearly see, in this pie chart, the largest pie chart here is the 60% quadrant. And this 60% quadrant are people who work for someone. So this obviously means is that people who have a job, go to a job every single day, exchange their time for money. Now, the unfortunate thing here is, of course, if you don't go to a job, you don't get paid. That's the saddest truth. And that was a reality for me because, of course, I wasn't an employee. So, of course, nothing wrong with employees. But, of course, learning more information to empower yourself is key. So from there, then you have 35% who are actually self-employed. So self-employed have, a small business. They may be working for someone, working for themselves, whether it's a hairdresser, they run their own small business, whatever it is. But again, they're working on themselves to better themselves, which is such a great thing, of course, because, they're working on bettering themselves as individuals. Then you have now business owners. Now, business owners make up 4% of this quadrant. Now, of course, business owners are people who own franchises. This can be, big franchises, for example, Woolworths, or, any franchises that around the world. Kmart, for example, here in Australia, and so many other international ones worldwide. And of course, the beautiful thing with business owners, of course, if you have a business and you have a system that you don't need to be there and, for it to run. So you can leave your business and, the business continues. You go overseas, you go on a holiday, your business will still run. And then we have now the investors. Now, investors make up the 1%. So you can really see out of this pie chart, the business owners make up 4% and investors make up 1%. Now, clearly, investors, of course, are people then who their money works hard for them. So they're not exchanging time for money, their money works hard for them. Warren Buffett says this: if you don't learn a way to actually make money in your sleep, you will actually work till the day you die. So for me, when I heard that, it was such an eye-opener because I realized that, of course, being as an employee, it means that I'll always exchange time for money and I will never actually get ahead because, of course, with my job, I will never actually be able to get money working for me because I'm the one who's present working for money. So then this actually was such an eye-opener. And you can actually see here at the bottom, 5% make up 95% of the entire market. So this is such a enlightening. If you think about it, 5% who are the business owners and the investors own all the money in the world. They own all the money around the world. So for me, this was such an eye-opener to understand that, a minority group of people actually control everything that's happening in the world. Think about it. We live in a world, right now, we've obviously with COVID, we've learned a lot of things, realizing that the world that we're living in right now has changed. Everything is all digital. Sooner than later, all the systems have, there will be no, after COVID, to be honest, let's call it spade a spade. After COVID, there's not a lot of people who are going to be hiring people to work for them because, of course, they've realized that with COVID, people have managed working from home. People are going to not even be paying overheads, paying rent if people can actually work from home. So a lot of systems are changing. Businesses are changing. People are modeling different ways of running their companies. And of course, think of Uber and Airbnb. 8 years ago, Uber and Airbnb were not there. Now they've revolutionized our our lifestyle, because again, you cannot live without Uber, literally, because Uber actually gives you a cheaper fare. Number two, is so convenient as well. Same thing as Airbnb. You're able to live in you can stay in a 5-star house, literally a mansion of a house, for a very reasonable cost. And that's what the kind of world that we're living in right now. So one thing I realized, that of course it's important to actually keep up with the times, because again, times are moving, they're moving really fast. And of course, it's either you be a part of it or get bypassed by it. So this cash flow quadrant is it was such an enlightenment for me. I encourage, if you haven't read the book, it's by Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. You can grab this anywhere. And just understand that this information, I believe, I'm a firm believer that access to the right information can change your life forever. And, it starts with information like this. Now, moving forward, guys, that's just one thing I wanted to share with you about that. Now, moving forward, okay, let me bring you up to scratch on what trading is. A lot of people have heard of what trading is, but again, they don't know, what actually happens in the industry. Some people think this is stocks, some people think this is, whatever it is. But again, I'm just gonna explain to you guys what foreign exchange trading is. So think about it. When you travel, say from Australia, I'm currently in Australia. Say if I leave Australia and go to another country, say Europe, say go to London, I'll have to change my Australian dollars to the UK, the pound, or the sterling, whatever it is. Because in Europe there's different currencies. Now you have to exchange one currency for the other. So understand that this happens 24 hours a day, every single day. As long as people are traveling, you're not going to use your money that you use in your home country in this other country. So foreign exchange, this happens all the time. If one country is buying goods, say Australia is buying goods from New Zealand, which is our neighboring country, we have to exchange our Australian dollars to the New Zealand dollar, because of course we cannot buy goods in New Zealand with our own money. So understand that this happens every single day, 5 days a week, 24 hours. Now, the beautiful thing with foreign exchange as well is, 24 hours a day, five days a week, like I said. Now, with the difference between foreign exchange and the stock investment market, now the stock is actually open, it's a 9 to 5. So they actually open at 10 a.m. and they close at 5 p.m. Now, that's limiting, because of course, if you want to trade, the stock market, of course, you can only trade in those times. And then now the other thing as well, if you want to buy stocks in whatever company, so you might want to buy stocks in an Apple company, say for example, Apple. Now, with stocks, of course, you cannot just buy stocks for $100. If you buy stocks for $100, it will take you forever before you actually become wealthy. So, of course, with buying stocks, you need to actually invest a decent capital for you to then obviously wait for your shares to actually appreciate in order for you to make money. Whereas now in foreign exchange, we make money both ways. If the market rises, we make money. If the market drops, we make money. So for me, this is, for me, I thought this was the best industry to be in, because regardless of what's happening around you, you can capitalize both sides of the coin. Now, for example, right now with COVID, of course, COVID started a few months ago, say January, depending on which country you're in. And of course, that has affected all of us. It has definitely affected all of us. It has affected economies. There's people who've gone in recession and all these kinds of things. But understand that you see that the difference between now, with Forex and stock trading, of course, when the stock collapsed, everyone that had shares in was specific companies or whatever they had stocks in, of course, they lost money because the market tanked. And then unfortunately, of course, their stock value devalues itself. So this is the difference. Whereas now with foreign exchange, as the market collapsed, of course, we sold those currencies, because remember, we're only exchanging one currency for another. So if the Australian dollar is going down, we're going to sell the Australian against another pair. So you're always selling one pair for another, not just one pair for itself. You're always exchanging one currency for another currency. Just like I said at the beginning, when you travel from one country to another, you're changing your currency to the country that you're going to. So I just had to bring you up to speed on what actually happens in this industry. Now, with trading, of course, you need to learn a skill set. Of course, you can't just go in and say, okay, I'm going to start and trade. I'm going to start, trading this thing. And I'm going to, without no knowledge, it's impossible. Understanding that, of course, this is an industry that, banks are the largest foreign exchange traders in the world. These are the people who are putting in billions and billions and billions of dollars. And where does our money come from? Think about it. We deposit our money in all the specific banks around the world. We take our money, we deposit our money, then they take our money and trade in the foreign exchange market. Then what happens? You, as a customer, you only get a 0.01% at the end of the month. That's pretty sad. For me, when I actually realized that was happening with my money, I actually got offended, because I was like, wow, this is information that they actually need to teach you at school. But unfortunately, they don't, because again, wealth is for a certain elite. It's, you know, again, if you're not open to actually learning this information, no one's going to come knocking to your door and say, hey, you need to know about this. No, of course, you have to put yourself in a environment to actually learn this information. So for me, accessing this information at that time, because of course I believe in timing. Timing is everything. You know, you may be in the right room at the right time, you may be on this call today, and of course accessing the information at the right time could actually change your life forever. So basically that's really in a nutshell what happens in this industry. Now, just to break it down for you on a chat, of course, just to, you know, give you a taste on what happens in the industry per se. I'm not going to go too much in depth. Of course, you know, that's a course on its own for another day. I'm just going to break up a chat and just so you can actually understand and see what happens in, you know,
Ivy, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Was I muted the whole time or just now?
Just dead. You're right.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So, all right, moving forward, guys. So basically what I was saying, these are called candlesticks. So candlesticks represent price. Understand that this is price that's actually happening in your everyday world. Like this is the current price of the Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. So these are stats. If I want to call it stats, these are the stats of the different currencies around the world. And of course you can have different, you can analyze different currencies around the world. So this is the beautiful part of this. You don't have to earn virtual cash like you would if you're traveling from one country to the other. This is all digitally. So this is done all online. And that's the beautiful part of it. What I think I love about this world is, of course, everything is digital. You can make money on your phone. And one thing I realized, if you cannot make money on your cell phone, you're doing yourself a disservice, especially in the generation that we're living in right now. Everything is, you know, decentralized. You want to order food, you go to Menulog, you want to, you know, Uber is at your service. You know, everything is just being a digitalized, you know, system. So of course it's important that you put yourself in a position to actually capitalize on what's in front of you, of course, because again, times are not going to change. We're actually living soon, and very soon we'll have robots doing all these things. You'll be going to the supermarket and there'll be a robot, and it's the world that we're living in. Take it or you don't take it. It is what it is. It's just going to be, you know, our new world. So basically now explaining this, if I were to enter this trade and take this trade up to this high, for example, and say, for example, I entered at that point, and that's about 111 points. So this 111, it means they're called pips in the foreign exchange world, but you can, I'll just use points because points is an easier language to actually explain it right now. Now, if it moves 100, let's give it 100 points just to round it off in a, you know, easier number. And now we use things called, you know, pips and lot sizes. So pips and lot sizes is what determines how much money you're going to make in the market. Now, if you use 0.01, which is a small lot size, of course, if you have a $50 account or a $100 account, you can start off with risking 10 cents. So if you were to risk 10 cents, let me ask you, if you were told to risk 10 cents, if you entered that trade and got it to this high, say 100 points, risk 10 cents, because your stop loss will just be around underneath here, risk 10 cents to make $100, because you do 10 cents multiplied by 103 will be $10. If you do 10 cents multiplied by, let's give it 100, let's run it off to 100 because it's just easier. If you multiply 10 cents multiplied by 100, you will actually make $10. So if you're risking 10, if you're told to risk 10 cents to make $10, would you do it? I personally would, because at the end of the day, there's no way that you'd actually make that much money in 3 days. If you think about it, the bank, if you're saving a $50 account in your bank account, they will give you a cent. They would actually probably not even give you anything for $50. They probably had to give you something, but they'll give you probably very, very minute, you know? So of course, it just shows you the power of foreign exchange trading, of course, with the skill set. Now, as your account grows bigger, of course, you can start off with a $1,000 account, you can start with a $50 account, you can start off with whatever you're comfortable with. Now, say, for example, you were using a $1,000 account and you're using a 0.10, which is a mini lot size, and which is equivalent to $1. So every point that the market moves, you're actually risking $1. So it moved 100 points. So $1 by 100, you would have actually made $100 out of a single trade in 3 days. You know, that's actually insane. In 3 days, and you would have made $100 stress-free. The market is doing its thing. You're not having to watch it or do anything. It's just going to do its thing. Now, if you have a bigger account, then say if you have, you know, a $10,000 account or more, or, you know, at least, I would say at least a minimum of 5,000 and above, then you can use a standard lot size. Now, standard lot size then means that you're risking $10 to actually make $1,000, because if you do $10 multiplied by 100, you will make $1,000. So in 3 days, and you can actually make $1,000 from risking $10, depending on how much, you know, your stop loss was. And most of the times your stop loss will only be very small, about 10 pips or so. You're risking something so small to actually get a reward of something so huge that, think about it, your bank will actually never, ever give you that kind of money. Even if you had 10 grand, you will never get $1,000 from Commonwealth. Call it a spade a spade. It is just the truth. You will never get that much money from your bank. And that's the truth. So this is what I love about this industry, because you are able to come in and actually learn a skill set that, now what I love about it as well, it's a skill set that no one can take away from you. This is like going to school and learning whatever career. I use an example, like I did nursing. Doing nursing is something that I know that, you know, no one can take it away from me. But of course, if I don't practice it, I lose it, because of course it's a practical world. You know, nursing is a practical environment. Of course, if I don't use my skills, if I kind of don't work in a hospital, which I don't do anymore, I lose my skills in some type of way, because I'll start forgetting the medication, I'll start forgetting all the things that I need to do. But in this industry, this is a skill set that number one, you can actually teach your child how to do this. This is where now generational wealth is created, because this is information that you can teach generations to come. I cannot teach my child to actually learn to be a nurse, but I can definitely teach him how to analyze the market. So this is something I'm so grateful. Understanding, again, like I said, it's information that, you know, is not taught in school. And here you are, you're actually able to learn what the banks do behind closed doors. And I actually have a few friends who actually work in the banks, and they don't even know this exists, because of course, in a bank, there's so many different departments. So of course, if you're not in that department, you will never know about this information. That's the crazy thing. But again, it's like I said, you know, of course, everyone and their own expertise, and again, accessing the information at the right time. Now, just to break you guys down on how, obviously, where you could actually learn this information, and the company that actually someone introduced me to this, to learn this skill set, is IM Mastery. Now, IM Mastery is the #1 largest educational platform in the world. They've actually just been featured in Forbes. So they are impacting lives around the world. A brief introduction about the CEO and the wife. The wife was actually a banker. She, one of the top women in the banks in America, and she was actually in the Forex department, understood what was happening behind closed doors, and of course, she brought this in attention to, you know, her partner was actually trading. He was trading, I think, stocks at the beginning, you know, got into other modes of businesses, and then he started trading Forex. So he's got over 22 years plus of experience in this industry. So it's not someone who doesn't know what they're doing. They're definitely qualified and experienced. And the beautiful part of it, you know, they came down together and they thought, what can we do to the world to actually give back and actually impact people's lives? Bring Wall Street to your street. And that's what I love about it. This is information, like I said, it's not accessible to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You know, this is exclusive information. Of course, if you actually happen to fall, you know, be in the right room at the right time, you'll access this information, or someone being so kind with you and actually sharing with you this information is the only way you kind of know about this. Now, the beautiful part I love about this platform is they teach you. You don't have to know anything prior. You have access to information from a beginner level. So at beginner level, as a beginner, you'd obviously start off at the academy. You can actually see these the academy section, and then we have different other sections on here. I'm going to break it down, the academy, where you would start off as a beginner. So as a beginner, you will start off as a new student, go on and to do, Forex. FRX stands for Forex. It's just a short form of foreign exchange. So FRX is, there's different languages as well. So wherever you are in the world, whatever language you speak, we have some languages that the academy is actually converted to. So if you speak English, of course, kudos, English is there for you. And any other languages, other languages, like I said, that are converted, that you can learn. So basically there's FRX. which is a foreign exchange language. So obviously when you get on here, you can now go through the course. Now, all these courses are all in video forms. So they're short and precise. They're about 5 minutes long. You know, you can whiz through this, 5 to 10 minutes long, I should say, actually. And, you know, what I love about it is the lifestyle. Like, you know, you can actually watch this on your phone. It's all digital again. This is the beautiful thing as well. It's all digital. Nothing is, you know, they've just made it so user-friendly that, you know, you can access this. You can be sitting on a train and just go through the course at your own time, whiz through a couple of videos. So you can see there's a lot of information. What is Forex? What is traded? The history of it. So bring you up to speed on where this all started. You know, everything that you need to know, what is buying versus selling, you know, understand as well. Forex is a lingo that of course you may need to learn, whatever, you know, some of the languages, like what is a pip, you will actually need to learn some of this information. But once you understand it, it's all repetition, margin and leverage, you know, all this types of stuff, you know, how to trade on your phone as well, which is really crucial because this is how we trade on our phones. This is a lifestyle. And that's what I love about it. It's portable, it's user friendly. You can be in, you know, Hawaii, whatever part of the world, pull out your laptop, pull up your phone, and you can actually trade, and it's accessible. You can travel around the world and trade on your phone. That's a beautiful part of it. And so, like I said, you know, you'll go through the courses, you know, up to 400 series. So of course you can just whiz through the course according to, you know, your own time, you know, however it suits you. Now there's no, you know, there's no pressure that you have to actually have finished it by a certain time. Of course, you have to pace yourself to whatever works for you. Now, secondly, we have this thing called a Pip Talk. Now, Pip Talk is where, you know, we interact with the educator, so you can subscribe to whichever educator that you like. And of course, you can stay up to date with the information that they share in terms of their courses and that kind of stuff. And then we have the Go Live. Okay. So Go Live is now where we have all the educators in the platform. We have over 150 educators on this platform that actually educate you and how to learn how to trade in these financial markets. That's the beautiful thing. I love it because these guys are qualified. These guys are not just guys from the, you know, just anybody picked up down on the street. They're qualified people. They're 6 to 9 figure earners who are qualified in these markets and have been trading for years and have got the experience, qualified enough to actually teach you. Now we have different courses. We have the Forex, FRX stands for Forex, high frequency, which is binary options. It's a different type of trading, but it's still trading. We have DCX, which is digital currency, which is trading cryptocurrencies. And then we have e-commerce, which is an e-commerce store. So you can start up an online store to sell things if this excites you. Now, I'll just go on with Forex today. So Forex, we have a panel of educators. Like I said, we have basic educators and we have advanced educators. Now you can browse through whichever educator. Of course, as a beginner, you will start on the basics, then advance yourself to the advanced section. Now, remember, this is, you know, you pace yourself according to your level of understanding. As a student, you take control of your own education. No one's going to tell you move on to advanced. You have to pace yourself according to how you're going. Now, my favorite educator, Leon Davies, is one of my favorite educators. Now, Leon teaches 3 days a week. If you like Leon, again, remember, you can subscribe to whichever educator that you want, at whatever you want. So, well, you know, you can browse through all of them if you want. Now, if Leon is live, when Leon is live, it's actually a live session. It will say live, so you're actually interacting with him. Leon is a 7-figure earner. He's been qualified. He's actually, you know, Leon, what I love about his story is that he started with no knowledge about this industry, starting from, you know, not knowing anything to actually being qualified. You know, it just, you know, it's so motivating to actually encourage that, you know, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what, you know, whether you don't understand this or anything like that. You can actually start from somewhere and actually get great at something if you put your mind to it and stay focused to actually achieve that end goal. And for me, it really inspires me to know that anybody can actually come in and actually capitalize this market and actually be successful to a 7-figure earner, especially if you're doing it. He's only done it for a short period of time, 4 years. I think 4 years is a very short time. I went to uni. If someone told me I go to uni and I'll be a 7-figure earner, God, yes, I would have done that any day. But of course, with my nursing, there's no way you would have been a 7-figure earner doing nursing in 4 years. It's almost impossible. I'll probably come out in debt more than actually, you know, a 7-figure earner. So if the session is live, of course, you know, you can interact with the educator on here. So there's a chat box, like you can see, you can actually interact with them. And another thing as well, all sessions are recorded. So you cannot miss a session. You can actually watch them at your own time. So if you are working or whatever it is that you're doing, you can catch a replay of the educator whenever it suits you. So that's one thing I love about it, because again, it's so user friendly. You know, it doesn't matter it doesn't really matter what, if you're not able to catch a live session, they've actually catered for every single person to actually benefit from this opportunity, and for you to actually study at your own pace. That's one thing I love about this platform. Now, moving forward, we also have other strategies that actually can help you earn while you learn. That's one thing that I loved about this platform. Of course, like I said, education is different for everybody. Some people are fast learners, some people are slow learners. So however long it might take you, of course, it depends on you. But again, you can actually, the beautiful thing, you can earn while you learn. So like one thing, like with HFX, for example, high frequency forex, you have educators who are trading live with you. These are short time trades where you only trade for a short period of time and you make your money. And not only that, we have other strategies that are available. I'll just show you on here. Strategies that are available that actually send you signals. I'm just going to X out of this. There's a lot of, information on there. So all these strategies here, you actually can access them at your own accord. And of course, these are signals that actually send you signals at your own accord. And the beautiful thing as well, of course, you're going to earn while you learn. So it can, as you're learning the skill set, you can actually be able to capitalize some of these, strategies, and of course make money in the process. So that's one thing I love about this platform. It is actually so accommodating for anybody, to be honest. You can actually access this information at the comfort of your own home, at the comfort of your own mobile phone. And it's a skill set that I encourage anybody, if you have an opportunity to actually capitalize this information, my encouragement is definitely take a look at it. If you've actually ever heard about Forex and you don't even know where to get started, or how you actually need to get started, my encouragement is definitely make time, seek the right information, ask, people who can actually get you to to give you that information for you to make that decision, because this is information that can change your life forever. Like it has changed mine, and not only mine, IM Mastery has impacted over, right now it's over 150,000. Remember, 1,000, this is not one, it's actually 250 right now, actually 250,000 people worldwide. So it's not a small company, it's a worldwide company. It's actually based in America. But again, people like us who are in Australia have been able to access this information because someone is kind enough to actually share this information with me. And with that said, guys, that's really a breakdown of what this platform actually offers. My encouragement to you again, remember that access to the right information can change your life. And again, it's also what you do with that information. Richard Branson says it best. If someone offers you an opportunity and you don't think you can do it, say yes, learn how to do it later, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be that person that presses opportunities over and over again, because this is information, like I said, and I'll say it again, that will change your life forever if you actually take it seriously. Remember, this is what banks are doing. This is not a small minority of people doing it. This is information that the elite are doing that actually could change your life forever and ever. So with that said, guys, of course, with everything great, of course, it comes to a cost. The IM Mastery is not free. Education, like you went to uni, you have to pay money. So with the platform, it actually costs $235, and for me, I think that's absolutely cheap, because I'll just tell you a little bit of my story, because just so you can understand how I got into it. I did a course here in Australia, in Sydney, and actually my course, for 3 days, I paid $5,000 just to actually show you that trading is not, it's not cheap. A lot of people spend a lot of money for it. A lot of people charge a lot of money because, again, understanding that this is information that would make you a millionaire. So of course, if something can teach you a millionaire, why would I charge you $100? Of course not. But now what I love about this company is because they've actually made it so cheap that every common man can actually access this, because their mission is to impact lives. Their mission is not about the money, it's to actually make a difference. And for me, that's one thing I really love about them. And it really encourages me to know that there's hope, that, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in whatever part of the world, you can access this information and your life can change. So like I said, it costs $235 for the first month. And then the following month after that is $175. So $175 is a subscription based. This is in US dollars as well. So it works about 225, I think, Australian dollars per se. And of course, if you're in a different country, you'd have to work it out in your own, currency. So again, it is a subscription based. And then they've also, now to even make it even better, to give you a better deal, they actually offer it to you for free if you actually can refer to friends who are actually interested to learn this skill set. Now, let me ask you, a lot of us go to the gym and we actually, the gym actually tells you, give me a list of your contacts. And if your friends sign up to our gym, Next month, you're going to get that waived. Now, here you are. This is actually an opportunity that can actually make you thousands and thousands of dollars. Wouldn't you want to tell your friends? I would. I've been able to tell a few of my friends because, of course, it's only fair to share something that has changed your life, or even if you haven't ventured into it, that you see potential that your life could actually get impacted. And that's what it's about, you know, because a lot of the times we're walking, talking billboards, you know, for other people. We share, you know, going to a movie, we share all these other things a lot of the times, but then people don't share something that is so valuable that could actually change someone's life, like learning a skill set. Because again, you know, some people think, oh, I'm just going to keep it to myself, or I want to learn it and see how I go before I tell someone else. But understand that your understanding, your level of understanding may not be the same as mine. So it's important that you give that information, share with someone else, and impact someone else's life. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for taking your time to listening to me. And I hope that I actually gave you some information that you can actually sit on and ponder on. And my encouragement is definitely take action, because this opportunity is changing lives. People are winning from all walks of life everywhere around the world. So thank you so much again. Have a great night. Have a great day wherever you are. And again, thank you so much for your time, and I will see you on the next call. Cheers, guys.